Happy Friday, everybody! So, are you new to sewing? Well, I have 10 spirit fingers. No, I have 10 hacks and tips for you that I wish I would have known when I first started using my sewing machine. So if you have not yet already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. And make sure you turn on your notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload a new video. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is a rack holder. I got this from the Dollar Tree for $1. That's my favorite store. So what I do with that is I just put my utensils that I need for sewing on there. And when I'm sewing, I just reach over there and grab them. Putting on the presser foot was hard when I first started using the sewing machine. I used to manually put the presser foot on. That's in my how to wind or thread a bobbin. And all you gotta do is clip it on there. It'll snap on there. So yeah, make sure you keep your thread towards the back of your machine. And I'll show you why towards the end of the video. Make sure you have multiple bobbins so that you can switch out your thread or have different colored threads on your bobbins. Tape, and more tape. I'm telling you, I'm not good with straight lines. And the machine has a seam allowance. It shows you measurements on here, but I'm still not good with straight lines. So what I do is I put the tape on there. And I put 5 or 6 strips of tape on it, but I only put 4 for this video. And 3. I said lots of tape. And there's the number 4. And here's what it looked like on the side of the tape with the fabric. Make sure you get you a cutting board and a ruler. I use my thread rack as a bobbin holder as well. Scissors versus a roller cutter. This right here. The roller cutter has been my best friend since I purchased it. Scissors, I'm not good with straight lines. And then when I cut my fabric with the scissors, it always rolls. So it's either I'm not cutting right or something, but I prefer to use the roller cutter. This sucker gives you a straight cut, even if you're cutting crooked, like I do. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning. But yeah, it does a great job with cutting. I love this thing. See? Bam. So here it is. Thread goes to the back. When you're sewing, you make sure your thread is in the back. And you make sure you backstitch. I'll show you a backstitch here soon. But your thread is to the back as always when you're sewing. And see, you can see where I backstitched, and you can see where I backstitched at the end. Now this is what it looks like when you have your thread towards the front. I wish someone would have told me this, because I was sewing any type of way at the beginning. And I didn't know that you couldn't sew with your thread like that. And I used to do that. That foot I have on is a satin foot, so it looks different from a regular presser foot. What the heck was that? It's just a ball of thread. So that's why you sew with your thread to the back and not the front. This is sewing without a back stitch. You should always sew with a back stitch when you want something to stay. That's your reverse button, or my reverse button. But when you want something to stay, you make sure you use it. But this time I'm not going to use the back stitch. I'm just going to sew straight through. And pull from the back of the machine. It's supposed to help the thread to come loose easier. Sorry, I was out of focus or out of the camera. But as you see, without a back stitch, it comes loose. It's still tight, but it still comes loose. Now this is with a back stitch. I wish I would have known this too, because a lot of my products or my items wouldn't have never came loose at first. So make sure you put a back stitch at the beginning of your sewing and at the end. You do not have to do as many back stitch. You can do 2 to 3. I did multiple at the beginning, but you can do 2 to 3 back stitches on the beginning and the end. And look, it looks like it's gonna come out, but it's not. It's in there like swimwear versus the non-back stitch. It's coming loose. Seam ripper. I don't know how many people seen this before. Like this little tool right here is amazing. And I used to see it all the time and I never knew what it was for. Maybe because I didn't care before, but this is an amazing tool. I love this tool. I used to mess up my fabric all the time and I would cut it with scissors, and I can't cut in a straight line. So that just messed me all the way up. You just take your seam ripper and put it through a piece of your thread and then slide it on through, and you don't mess up your fabric. You don't have to start all the way over and cutting out more fabric when you do this. Use your seam ripper. I was like, I never knew that. But I'm excited I know about it now, because I don't mess up a lot of fabric anymore.